Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for Family or Fiance. This episode is about the engaged couple, Fred and Tiffany. They met at work. She was not feeling him at first because he didn't have this swag or whatever, but he approached her. They eventually got together, and already I just see red flag after red flag, so I'm trying to understand why they even got together in the first place. But who am I? He been cheating, and it's just like, what? I don't know. Even his body language when he was talking to no, I was about to say Dr. Nicole. While he was talking to Tracy, she brought it up and was like, okay, why did you lean forward instead of just keep your arm around your fiance? He was like, oh no, I'm just talking to you. That's all. I just got into this conversation with you. She was like, well, you can talk to me and still, have your arm around her. You can be engaged in a conversation with someone without having to do that. And so she had to let him know what it was, and he didn't agree with it. And his fiance was like, yeah, he does this all the time. Like, he gets all the way into a full-on conversation with everybody, set it off with them, and just, it's like, oh, okay. Thought we were just having a moment, but okay. Like, my ex used to do that too, y'all. But anyway, so they're talking, and she has not really, brought him around her family because she doesn't want them to know about, what he's done, because that's embarrassing. It's like, oh, hey, y'all, this is my fiance. He been cheating on me, and it just is what it is. But he asked me to marry him. Y'all, this is embarrassing. Like, it's embarrassing. Every time she says something, it's pretty much embarrassing. She just told Tracy that she took him on a cruise for his birthday, and she went into the bathroom and was getting dressed. And he said, you know what would go great with that outfit? And she said, what? And turned around, and he was down on one knee and proposing to her. And ultimately, she kind of felt pressured into saying something, saying yes, because that was the first day of the week-long, cruise. So it's like, if she said nah, it would look kind of crazy. So ultimately, it's like, girl, you didn't even want to say yes at this point. Like, for you to basically be like, ooh, if I say no, then we out on this water. So, ooh, like, you shouldn't feel that way. They've been together, if I'm not mistaken, for 6 years. So, girl, too many red flags already. Before the families even came in the door, they had already departed from Tracy, and they were told what their tasks are. And she gonna ask him and basically say to him, like, okay, you gonna tell the truth, that you're gonna be honest, right? Basically, it's like, I ain't never seen nobody have to basically like kind of lead somebody and say, okay, so they're gonna ask these questions, like, are you gonna be truthful about your answers and your responses, because only you know whether or not you're gonna be telling the truth, because she ain't gonna be sitting there to say, yeah, he telling the truth about that. Like, I was just like, anybody else catch that? Because I was just like, girl, the fact that you had to do that, you should know that this is not it. Like, it's just not it. But anyway, everybody is arriving now. Let's see what's about to go down. Y'all, everybody has gotten there, and they're having their first family meeting. And so this is the part where they go around and they are asked, what questions, comments, concerns do they have? It's rough up in there. It's giving, this man is a whole alcoholic and some more. Her brother don't even know him. So he's like, at this point, I don't know what's going on. So I know with the concerns that are coming up in the room, he looking like, oh no, you don't need to have no dealings with my sister at this point, because somebody talking about, like I said, he's coming off like an alcoholic. Somebody said the communication is terrible. especially when he gets some drink in him. Like, a lot of stuff be popping off. His best friend, who was supposed to be the groom in the wedding, said that he feels like he needs to be getting some his own personal counseling to fight some demons. I was just like, what is going on? Her mama was like, I love you, but I don't think you're right for my daughter. Some healing need to happen. Y'all need to do something, or it don't need to happen at all. Like, everybody is just, nobody is here for this at all. Like, so he get in the little confessional camera and he's shocked by like some of the comments like both of the moms have made, and it's like, this too much already. So they're gonna do the Tower of Truth, and they're gonna do a beer pong situation for her, thank goodness, because I don't think Tracy knows that he's an alcoholic. So she's probably glad that she didn't do that, even though there doesn't have to be alcohol involved. They just have to throw it in the cup like they've done before. But yeah, let's see what else foolishness is about to pop off, because it's already looking real. It's a no for me, dog, right about now. Child, all of this is going sideways. So while she over there dealing with his folks, they're asking questions. They're talking about, how many times has he cheated on you? How much does he drink? How often does he drink? What do you think he's dealing with? Like, everybody is chiming in. They're like, oh, well, we think he's drinking because he used to be in the military and the people were shooting at him, and one of his friends got shot and killed and died in his arms, and that's the demon that he's fighting, and that's why he drinks the way he does. And I'm like, they have services for free for you. Unless you got dishonorably discharged, you can go get those services for free, sir. Somebody like me, I gotta at least pay a copay. You can go for free all day. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand, like, what is going on? You have the free services because of people like you who have gone and fought and did all of that. You have the free services right in your hands, extended. They beg for y'all to come in there. And I'm just like, is nobody encouraging you to go? Or are you one of those black people that feel like black people don't go to counseling? Black people don't need counseling? Like, what actually is it? Because this is very disturbing. This is crazy, because you internalize what has happened and possibly whatever else is going on, because I don't think it's just that one isolated incident, and then you take it out on Tiffany. Like, what is going on, Fred? Then he over there, almost every question is, why do you cheat on her? How many times have you cheated? It's so bad that he sat up there and was like, I think one of the cheating questions was, when was the last time you cheated? Well, how often do you cheat? And he tried to correct it and try to make it seem like when I did cheat, I cheated. That was like 3 years ago, whatever. So anyway, at first he said he cheated one time. And so somebody off rip set it off, was like, no, you didn't. You cheated with one person multiple times. So then he was like, oh, well, 3 times. I'm like, you lying. I just feel like you just lying. I feel like it was more than one person. I feel like it was way more than one time, way more than 3 times with that one person. Like, you lying. And this is why she asked him what she asked him before everybody arrived, and wanted to try to lead him and hope that he was going to actually be truthful, because he already lying. You lying to her folks for no reason, and you're wrong. So anyway, they want to know how often does he drink. And he was like, oh, I drink beer all day. And I'm like, okay. And like, he trying to make it seem like, I think she said something about how he had lost his job or something at one point in time, and so he was in a funk. And that's understandable, but I just can't. It's just too much going on. It seemed like he get that liquor in him and then he act a fool, and that is not how it go. That is not what it needs to be. I don't understand why people love to drink so much that they become sloppy drunk. Like, there are so many different types of drunks. I can't. I've told y'all before that I had a relative. His name was Sylvester. He died, I don't even remember how long ago it was now, but it was recent years. But whenever we had a family reunion, he would somehow always make it. He would always be drunk as a skunk before he got there. And one year, one of the last times I went when I was back home, he came and he was sober. Y'all don't understand that he got up there, he did a testimony, because I looked at my mom, I said, ain't that Sylvester? She was like, yeah, he got clean. I was like, oh my gosh. And like, he has daughters. And even though he was drunk, he always lived for his children. But we all wanted him to get clean. Nothing we ever said to him got through to him. I don't know what finally got through and clicked for him, but he finally stopped drinking cold turkey. And he was good for a long time. And I think he got sick a couple of years ago. Had to be, I know it was less than 5 years ago he passed away. And he was like late 50s, early 60s. So in my opinion, I feel like when he did pass away, it was because of the long-term effects that the alcohol was having on his liver. Because like I said, he would be towed all the way down before he got to that function. That's just a 3-day event. That's just me seeing him on that Saturday, because I never would go to the festivities that were on Friday or on Sundays. But when I would see him on that Saturday, he was towed all the way down. And I would be there from the time we would start up until the time it would be dark outside. And he would be towed down before he got there. When I left, he was still drinking any alcohol that was in sight. And I'm like, how? Where is it going? Like, nobody ever had to carry him out, but I don't understand. Like, he was highly functioning, a highly functioning alcoholic. But you could tell that he was drunk. It was so sad. But when he did get clean, like, y'all, I really did go off to myself and cry because, and other people were like just on site crying because we were like, dang, is that Sylvester? Because he looked good. He looked young again. Like, it was just a lot. And this is just kind of giving me a little bit of PTSD from that. Thinking back on that, if you will, it's triggering me just a little bit because alcoholism ain't no joke. Like, the dudes, a lot of the men in my family on my daddy's side is rough. That particular relative that I just told y'all about was on my mama's side. But yeah, the alcoholism was just rough on my daddy's side mainly. It was a lot. So anyway, I'm just trying to understand what is going on. And he really does need to definitely see someone about that. He needs to be in some AA meetings very, very often. And he needs to seek counseling outside of that. So yeah, he's not being honest. And I don't like that. I don't like you sitting up here lying. It's people know y'all business. And her brother sitting up there looking like, because he don't know him. He don't know none of the situation. He don't know what's going on. He don't even know him. This day was the first day this man ever met him. And she been with him for 6 years. So he is really finding out how trash he is. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. There's too much going on already. And I just met you, sir. Y'all, this dinner has gone completely left. Before they even sat down to bless the food, the cameraman knew what his assignment was. He knew the assignment. He zoomed in on Fred going over to the side because he know he wrong with a glass and some liquor and poured it into a glass before he sat down at the table to eat. So they prayed over the food and they started talking, and it's just to the point where Tiffany's mama was like, you know, I feel a lot of stuff is going on that, you know, she basically is like, look, I don't bite my tongue when I'm talking to your son. She straight up told this man's mama, I don't bite my tongue when I'm talking to him. And you don't have to bite your tongue when you talking to my child. His own mama was like, well, I don't think Tiffany the problem. But then, you know, because at first I was like, okay, this is somebody who sounds like they have, you know, some sense. Because that's how my mama is. If I'm having and exhibiting some trash behavior, my mama gonna call me out on it. She ain't gonna sit up there and enable me like Fred's mama proceeded to do throughout this whole situation. So this is how his mama was enabling him. So people were going all around the table saying to him, okay, so what happened today? And, you know, we realized that you weren't being honest when questions were being asked. And he over here getting upset, talking about, oh, this stuff happened a long time ago. This old stuff, they bringing up old stuff. And he's basically giving excuses as to why he behaves the way he behaves. And people are saying to him, you need to work on stuff. And he was like, well, it's not an overnight process. And they're like, but you've been giving this excuse for the longest. In a confessional, Tiffany says that the exact same rebuttals and excuses that he gives her are the exact same ones that he is giving to them. So it's like, girl, do you see these big red flags waving in your face? I need for you to hear and see and just hear the bells. Please see the red flags waving. Like, I can't. It's too much going on. So yeah, his mama started setting it off, and it was just to the point where Tiffany was tired of it. She was like, you know what, just keep enabling your son. And it's just exactly what it is. Like, she didn't got up from the table. She upset. Her best friend slash bridesmaid came to her defense and was like, you know, you all right? And she was like, he just won't take accountability. Like, it's too much going on. Like, why are y'all here at this point? Because he don't want to do the work. It's coming off in this moment that he don't want to do the work. He don't want to take accountability. People who he's been knowing, even his brother, he has a brother that's there. His brother is even reading him and was like, okay, the stuff you doing, you got a whole fiance at the house. Like, the stuff you doing is not what you're supposed to do. That's not the type of time you're supposed to be on. Y'all, this man just recently, like a month prior to them coming on this show, reached out to a random heifer that he used to deal with in some capacity, whether it was a hit it and quit it situation or whatever, and told her, oh, you still looking good. In his opinion, he doesn't feel like entertaining women is a problem as long as he ain't having sex with them, which I wholeheartedly would not be surprised if he is still screwing people, even though he's trying to lead us to believe that he hasn't screwed somebody else since 3 years ago, and they've been together for 6 years. I'm not believing it. I'm not believing it. Her mama was like, you know what? If you had came to me years ago and said I'm out, I would have been so relieved. Like, it's bad. Ain't nobody here for this. Ain't nobody here for this foolishness, because he will not take accountability, and he does not see the wrong in what he's done. But then after everybody was about to go to bed and everything was almost over with this scene, he was like, well, if everybody is saying the same thing, well, maybe it's me. But will he actually receive it and do something about it? I doubt it, but we'll see. Day 2 is upon us, and the task at hand is going to be for the ladies to get together and pick a spot that can be intimate so that Tiffany and Fred can have one-on-one time, have a date night without everybody else being around. And the guys are going to have to get together and cook the dinner. Well, excuse me. Their little dinner happened, and Fred was being Fred. He was being dismissive as usual and cutting her off when she was trying to speak. And it was to the point where she's used to him being the way he is. So she started saying, you know what, never mind. But then she caught herself, was like, you know what, I'm going to have to stop doing that. And then she just asked him what she wanted to ask, because while she was asking her questions, it's like it was going nowhere. She was like, well, you say you're in love with me. What is it that you love about me? Why do you say you're in love with me? Do you think that if we went inside right now and asked everybody if they think you drink too much, do you think anybody will say yes or no? He over here delusional, talking about everybody gonna say no. Sir, before the day even fully got started, everybody already knew you had a drinking problem, whether they knew you or not, including her brother, who didn't know you from Adam. So I was just like, okay, this is too much. But yeah, that whole date was uncomfortable. You could see the look on her face. You could see how hurt she was. You could see how hard it is for her to just continuously fight with him for the relationship. And it's like he's stuck in his ways. So in his mind, he don't feel like he's done nothing wrong. He don't feel like there's anything he really needs to fix. He is really good at talking a good game. And I'm just like, that's how narcissists narcissistic people are. I just cannot do it. So yeah, it was a mess, and it just had me shaking my head the entire time. I just wish she would have got up and just left, because it was just embarrassing. It was secondhand embarrassment. But for whatever reason, she wasn't seeing that. So they ended up going into day 3, which, is the last day. And they met up with Tracy. Tracy said that Tiffany looked so much lighter. Like, how did she feel? And, she was like, oh, I feel much better than I did the day I came in. And I'm just like, it's been a disaster since y'all walked up in here. Like, what is going on? So to make a long story short, they wanted to know, what you thought, what you think gonna happen when the blessing ceremony comes. He said he knows that he's gonna get a couple of no's, but he's not, really aware of who might throw some no's out there. But we gonna see. So they get to the blessing ceremony and everybody said no. It was to the point of when his mama even said no. It was like, you got a lot of stuff you need to work on. You need to do stuff for yourself. Like, I can't give you my blessing. Her mama was like, I love y'all. Whether y'all gonna be together or not, I want y'all both to be happy, because her daughter is obviously not happy. Like, the fact that you said that you do not think this man is in love with you anymore, or you don't know, and when certain questions were asked that you should have been able to easily answer with the snap of a finger, and you couldn't, and you had to just think about it, like, girl, no. It just made me so sad for her. It was really secondhand embarrassment, and I just felt very sad for her. But it's like, I feel like I honestly feel like she feels like how I was. When I was in my relationship, it just got to a point where I was like, I've been in this too long. I'll just deal with it. Hopefully he'll stop. Hopefully it'll change. No. Some people are capable of change. He has not wanted to change. So, the brother was like, look, I ain't know you from Adam when I first got here anyway. I ain't never known you. And after seeing the stuff that went down this weekend, I'm definitely not here for you. And I was like, child, like, ain't nobody here for it. Even his brother was like, you had my blessing before, but you definitely ain't got it now. I was just like, everybody is setting it off. Well, after everybody said what they said, Tiffany said, well, we have decided to postpone our wedding, and we will not even set a date. And she said it tearfully. You knew that. You could tell that was something that really hurt her, because a lot of women look forward to being married and saying, I am married. I was married, y'all. Look at my ring and all this other stuff. It's just a certain feeling that goes along with that I'm pretty sure she wanted to be able to finally say, COVID happened, all this other stuff happened, and it kept getting postponed, and it was for a reason. But I mean, that was just other red flags for them that was going on that she didn't want to see and accept. Well, he was like, well, I have an announcement to make. I am going to do what I'm supposed to do, and I'm going to do right by her, and I'm going to listen, and he kept making all these promises, being a slick talker. He is definitely one of those people who has a mouthpiece and he knows what to say to people. He will make you believe things that are not true. I'm telling y'all, my ex was the same way. He could tell me something that I knew 100% was not possible. But he would make me think, well, dang, maybe it's possible now somehow. Like, I'm serious. Like, that's how it was. That's how it can be. Narcissistic people, I tell you. But anyway, but he over here that did this and made a long speech and proceeded to get down on one knee with a box that had a brand new ring in it. So here she is, tearful and all happy, and he want to call this a recommitment and them a restart, a reset, and she over here for it. And I'm like, oh, this is foolishness. The brother was like everybody is like, did we not just have this whole conversation about how this is not what y'all need to be doing and you need to focus on yourselves? She literally just said, you got to focus on you. We got to focus on all these things before we can focus on a marriage. And if you don't get it right, then this is it. This is going to be the last time. And he trying to make it seem like he going to do what he's supposed to do. They gave the update And they said that everything is still off. The wedding is still off. They haven't gotten married like a lot of these people do, and then they end up being trash, knowing good and well they shouldn't have got married. Um, it says that his drinking has significantly decreased. I don't know how true that is. He's supposedly going to counseling. Their communication skills have improved, but everybody is still a work in progress and all that good stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, go off though. I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it. I feel like the bad outweighs the good, and it's just it's anytime she had to talk about him in their relationship, it was sadness all over her face. Like, that ain't nothing to be excited about. Like, how are you gonna explain to your kids or anybody else? That would be embarrassing, trying to explain to somebody how y'all met, how you got engaged, how you got engaged again. It's just like, oh, when we first got together, we was at work and all of that, but he had been cheating on me for years, y'all. But we ended up going on this show, and you know what? We weren't gonna be together, and we said, no, we called this off, it's over with. And when he proposed to me on the ship, though, before all of that, I didn't want to get married, but we was just out here in the middle of nowhere, and the trip just started. I ain't had no choice but to say yes. Like, no. And then you said yes again. It's like, you are a glutton for punishment. We cannot feel sorry for you. Nobody feels sorry for her when it continues to go downhill, because at this point in time, even if he does, that's the thing. A lot of these people, they will go off and finally get the help they need after they done drained all the life out of you and all your good years out of you, and that's not fair to you, because you could have been putting all that good energy and all your love and affection and attention on somebody else who was deserving of it and who would have soaked it up and had been doing the exact same thing for you instead of causing you all this strife. But anyway, who am I? I ain't nobody. Anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed. I was about to say the foolishness. It is, but still. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this recap review, y'all. I'm about to go and wind down and try to enjoy the rest of my day. Y'all do the same. Be safe out there and stay cool. Bye.